Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride.
The heat is on. On the street, down, inside your head, on every beat,
but not in Stockholm, because it's snowing over here.
Been seeing, my God, I've been checking out people's Instagrams, and I'm like, oh yeah, snow. I forgot about that.
Right.
I only last saw it 2 weeks ago, and I'm already in jungle mode.
Yeah. No, yesterday, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was thinking I was doing something else. And I heard Veronica walk by with her friend, Tindra, and they were like, I was like, where are you going? We're going to go outside. We're going to make a snowman. And I didn't think any more about it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Watch out for cars. There aren't any cars anywhere around here.
They're in the woods.
I'm like, watch
out for cars.
Don't play too close to the freeway. But I didn't really think about it much. They said they're going to go out, and it snowed a little bit. I mean, there's been a little bit of snow outside, but so I'm thinking, okay, that's cute. They're going to go out and do some little, Smurf size snowman. I'm thinking some little cute thing. And with it, when they came and got us afterwards, they were like, "Oh, the snowman's ready. Do you want to take a look?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay." And when I look out the window, it was a real life size.
I know. I've seen
big
the
old
picture.
Snowman.
It's like a legit snowman. That's like a professionally built snowman. The orange nose and everything.
Yet they came because I made stew. So I'm in the kitchen. I was making stew, and they were like, "Can we have a carrot?" And I'm like, "Yeah, grab a carrot."
That's amazing.
And I'm thinking, oh, that's cute. Maybe they'll put the snowman on top of the carrot. I didn't think it was going to actually be a snowman that's big enough to support a carrot nose. But yeah, that's how much snow. And today it was crazy snow, and it hasn't built up a lot. It's not staying.
Oh, okay.
But it's not really cold.
It's been enough. I've seen some people sliding down the hills.
Yeah,
Enough for a little sled kind of thing.
Exactly. It's staying, but it's not. They're not coming and
plow
moving.
Yeah.
Exactly. Plowing snow out of the way. It's
not enough for ski.
So we are. No, downhill falling. No, so but it's been, and it's not. I think it was 1 degrees. It was 0, 1, 2,
freezing.
It's hovering right around freezing, enough for it to snow. But on Wednesday, I went in and I was looking. It was 1, 0, 2, 1, and then Wednesday all of a sudden is -5.
Oh God!
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Well, conversely here, it's been 28, 26, 27, 29, 30, 29, and then 35 out of nowhere. So I know you're giving me the eyes just shut up right now. But hey, 35 when you have zero air conditioning and
man,
you can't turn the fans on all the way because then you'll burn the motors out because it's so hot. And then you're left without a fan.
That's more, yeah, but those temps are more like bingo. 35, 25, 35, 45.
I hit the jackpot.
But yeah. No, mine is more like my IQ kind of. Anyway, hey, you sent some pics yesterday that blew my socks off.
Yes, Brazilian barbecue, man. We did skewers. So if anyone's ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse, Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chão or anything kind of like that, where it's like this continual, they call it rodizio, where they continually come out with more meats. And all of these big cuts of meat are on what looks like this giant meter-long sword. So that's actually like a skewer, like a kebab skewer.
Right.
But it is like a meter long, and they stick that whole thing into the grill. there's like holes in the back of the grill, and the grill is like this cement brick oven structure. So yeah, so they do all sorts of stuff. We were doing like a mix, kind of like kebabs, like big, some beef and peppers and zucchini and eggplant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All like layered up, put that in there. But then before, like everything goes in on the barbecue, on barbecue day. All your vegetables, they go in there. Sausages, potatoes and onions, they go under the meat. So as the meat is cooking, it's dripping its juices onto the onions and the potatoes. Even the bread goes into the grill.
But was that the bread?
Yes, that was the bread.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put the pics up. That was on my to-do list. But after we're done with the episode, I will post the pics so that people can see it. Because some of those cuts of meat just looked illegal.
Well, yeah, I took the
like,
first one. I took of like all the skewers assembled because it was like a nice little pretty looking picture. Like the food's ready. Then I'm like, I need to put my hand next to this to give Rodney a sense of scale.
To give some kind of perspective.
Like one.
No, it was a good thing that you put your...
One of the pieces of beef would like fill my entire palm.
Yeah. Well, it looked like 4 pieces from one of those skewers would have... is pretty much what I was working with when I made my whole pot of stew.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, ridiculous. And even the bread. So like everything's got like the little skewer hole in it, but yeah, it's you can't beat like the smoky bits getting up in there. And then,
yeah, but it's like, and it's an honest barbecue. I mean, it's like real barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, we think barbecue, and you know, I love my Weber. You know, and I love grills and I love smokers and stuff like that. But, you know, with good food and seeing the way that they were, you know, they had a little system to it, the way that the skewers were resting and leaning and stuff. But just to see these, you know, big old pieces of wood, a real fire.
Now, that is very typical of the south of Brazil. So you get that because we're close to Argentina, and in this whole region, it's all the gauchos, all the cowboys that raise the beef and all that kind of stuff. So up in the north of Brazil, you have much more fish and it's spicier food and that kind of thing. But down here in the south, like the south, below Rio and below kind of thing.
Yeah.
If your house, like you check the listing when you're buying a house, does it have a barbecue? Does it have a churrasco in it? And if it doesn't,
does it have a pit?
If it doesn't, take a 0 off the end of that, man. Take a 0 off the end of the cost. It ain't worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I'll put the pictures up because you really got to see it to appreciate it. And then, you know, the final picture, when all the pieces and everything were together and the meat was just cooked perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can see that the meat is cooked perfectly.
Oh, yeah, man. They know how to do it. They know how to do it. It's crazy. And it's like so that was like cook everything all at once, and then except for the bread. The bread was kind of an appetizer, but then everyone sit down, have like a late lunch kind of thing, and then you don't really eat much of anything for dinner. You just kind of have like some little appetizers kind of things for dinner. But then,
well, I mean, if that was lunch,
but then
like where are you gonna...
the other normal because Saturday is like, especially in the summer down here, because it's summer down here on the southern hemisphere. Saturday is typically your barbecue day. They'll do like, especially if people come over, a bunch of people, they're doing multiple cuts of beef all the time, and then they take it off, they cut it into little pieces so everyone picks a little bit. It's a whole day affair.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. It was just wow.
Yep.
And you sent the picture. I mean, it was almost smell-o-vision for me. You know, looking at the. I was going to go vegan today until I saw those pictures that you sent.
I know.
Yesterday, and I'm like,
seeing like everyone's like, oh, January vegan month. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I've heard of a couple vegetarian Brazilians, but vegan, there's no way I'm finding any of those down here.
Hey, it's on the top of my list for 2022, though. Oh
yeah,
that is
vegan month.
I'm definitely I've just procrastinating a little bit. That looked.
I think I could awesome. Do it. I mean, the trouble is finding the ingredients to make everything happen. To cook it yourself. If it was like someone else preparing the food, I could do it no problem. Flavor's not the issue. It's more all the substitutes that you kind of have to get.
Hey, I think I could eat a whole bunch of different ways if somebody like brought me the food ready.
Yeah, I mean, all you need is a private chef, right? That's it.
It's like,
you can eat anything.
Here's your breakfast. Okay, yeah, I'll eat that. Yeah. This is what you got to have for lunch and little lunch and big lunch. And I'll eat that. Hey, I'll have one of those. Yeah.
But I have to give you some of the latest coronavirus updates from down here, what it's like living down here. So everything, yeah, because Brazil was one of those countries where it like exploded back in like the late spring, early summer kind of thing. And you go anywhere, you have to wear a mask. Just point blank, you have to. You're not getting in anywhere if you're not wearing a mask. And every single grocery store that I've been into, every single store, they're out there with a little digital instant read thermometer to check your temperature.
Right.
Which is like reassuring, but kind of concerning at the same time, because like, what if you don't feel that you have a temperature, right? And then this person scans you and they're like, you can't come in, you have a temperature. And now you're out in public with a temperature and you're like, oh my God, I'm the super spreader. Get me out of here. Ah!
Yeah, that's right. Standing in line and they're like, it's him. That's the guy.
He's the one.
He's the one. Yeah.
But yeah.
He's from Sweden. He's from Sweden. People are like, oh.
Exactly. But yeah, it's everything. Everywhere you go, you get scanned and then they spray your hands down with like a spray bottle of hand sanitizer.
Sure. Okay.
And then, it's just like normal. I mean, wearing the mask everywhere, but then it's just like normal.
It kind of reminds me of the way, like, shopping. When we shop at ICA now, we have, like, with that scanner thing.
Yeah.
You just go around and blip everything. That's kind of what those thermometer things remind me of. Exactly. You put them up on people's foreheads. They're like, beep.
Exactly. And again, they have the drink aisle, so you have, like, all of your beer and wine in the grocery store. It still blows my mind. And then they have the cold section, which the cold beer and the cold wine. And I'm just like, wait a minute. So you're telling me you're selling packs of beer that are cold and individual beers that are cold?
Oh.
Blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But a funny thing I found out yesterday, when you scan like the 6-pack or the 12-pack, like the box, then the cashier still has to enter in how many you're buying. So the SKU, the UPC code for the box is the same as the individual can. I'm like, you might want to fix that. Just putting that out there.
just make a little note, maybe. Yeah, that's when I forgot. I was in such a rush one day when I went to ICA that I went through into the thing and forgot to take the beeper, the little scanner device. And you get so used to it.
Yeah, I haven't used it.
You get so used to going around. Yeah, but when you're used to doing it, because you just go and then it's like fast out the door. And this time I got halfway in. I got down to the veggie section, which is like half of the race is over. So I'm not going to turn around, go back and get one of the scanners. I'm like, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm like loading, I'm like loading everything in there. And then it was just the last 5 meters, to the thing. I'm like, okay, into the cashier. I haven't had a cashier or had to like talk to anybody, in all these years. Now all of a sudden I'm putting my stuff up onto the belt. It worked out, but wow.
So old school.
Old school. Yeah, I went completely old school. But they didn't ask if I wanted paper or plastic, Well,
I'm already like, I can't get too used to people just having bags ready that I don't pay for. Just still very strange. Hoping to keep it that way, because then otherwise I'll just go to ICA and then forget, and then they're going to be looking at me, and I'll have already paid, and they're going to be like, well, you can go around the store again and come back and get your groceries to get some bags because we have more customers. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I hear they're like, do you want a bag or a box? I'm like, a box? Like, yeah, they come out with these big cardboard boxes. I'm like, oh, great. I carry everything at once to my car. That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds like Costco shopping.
Yes.
When you shop at Costco, then all of a sudden it's like they're loading all your stuff into boxes.
Yes, exactly.
Then you're in town. But how is it over there with the COVID?
It's, it's kind of like everywhere else. They're seeing a spike right now. For whatever reason, the kids go back to school next month after Carnival.
Oh, wow.
So Carnival is like Mardi Gras, same timing.
Right.
So after that, then that's kind of like the last thing of summer. And then I think right after that, they all go back to school. So that's kind of, they're trying to figure that out now of who's going to be going back. And everything on the news is who's getting the COVID, the vaccines and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's I'm like,
Yeah, Veronica goes
I'm under
back
40,
to
man.
school.
I'm not going to get that for like 2 years.
Right. Yeah. No, Veronica starts school tomorrow, and Adrian goes back to work tomorrow. So tomorrow kind of feels like, this last week has been almost like an in-between kind of week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we
Wasn't
got
it a
rid
red
of
day
everything.
the other day?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday which is kind of it's like you go from weekend to like a weekend in the middle of the week, and then Thursday you're just trying to get back to it's been so wacky and weird that it kind of feel now is that time where you just kind of want to get back. You just want to get back in the swing.
Yeah. Into momentum.
Like what now? Pseudo normality.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, if it's not normal for you now, then it's never going to be.
no.
But how are things there? Like, have you had to take public transit yet and use your masks and all that?
Yeah, we actually did. We went out. Wow, this sounds kind of funky, but we went out to dinner on last Thursday. We called around, and Lena had found a restaurant on Södermalm that was basically the restaurants, places are empty.
Yeah.
And the place that we went to is empty. But she had gotten a really high recommendation from a friend of hers from work. So the restaurant was called Faros.
Oh, the Greek
was a
place.
Greek.
Yeah, that place is amazing.
Right. Yeah. So we went there on Thursday, and well, before we get to the restaurant, let me start there. So
Boy,
our plan, right? Our game plan is that we drive to Älvsjö. We drive and we leave the car there, so we don't have to worry about messing around,
With parking,
with the city. So we drive, we park there. We have all of our masks and stuff. And
Now, how long of a drive is that for you?
Ooh, I would say 45 minutes, 45, 50 minutes. But it's amazing because then it's just 2 stops in. Then we drive to Älvsjö, then it's Årstaberg, and then it's Söder. Mm-hmm. And that's where we were going to meet Adrian.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, we met him there when we came up. But we were trying to figure out what to do from Söderstation to the actual restaurant. And Lena still has one of her crutches she's using. She's got like normal shoes now, and she's getting better, but she still has the one crutch. So we were debating whether to hop on the bus or take an Uber. Mm-hmm. And what we ended up doing was we said, okay, we'll try the bus. So we go over to the bus stop. The bus comes. We hop on, and we end up over by your place. So instead of going Ringvägen, like around where we thought it was going to go, all of a sudden, we were crossing over the bridge.
Oh, yeah. You got like the 75 or 76, whatever that is.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, this is definitely off the beaten, path. So obviously it was not the right bus. So we end up doing the Uber thing.
Yep. So you got every kind of transport that there is.
Yeah,
you got the car,
but
you
Lynn
got
and
the
I,
train, you got the bus, the Uber.
Yeah, but Lynn and I mean, we don't Uber. I haven't yet to Uber anything. Adrian is more Uber, because he's still kind of coming and going and doing stuff in the city. Sure. So we're trying to fill Lena in a little bit. Yeah, like I'm trying to fill her in. I don't Uber. I have an Uber account. It's like, I have an Uber account. But Adrian is trying to explain how the whole thing works.
Oh my God!
And if all you're used to is taxis, and it was everything from what kind of car is it? How are they going to find us? And he's like, well, you have to get an XL car because nobody's allowed to sit in the front seat. So,
well, how many people were there? There's just the two of
you.
It
was 4 of us.
Oh, it was 4. Because you had already met Adrian at that point. No,
exactly. Okay. But he went ahead and got it. And the guy came, and it looked like one of those, those little, like, it wasn't a van, like a working van, like a.
Yeah. Like one of those big Mercedes things, right?
Yeah. It looked like the guy could have had like a car full of tools and stuff. But when he opened it up,
plumber van,
it was actually like a little minivan thing. So, we got in and we're like, oh, this is cool. We're doing our first thing, and we're about maybe 5 minutes until our reservation. I'm thinking, oh, this is great. The timing's going to work out perfect. So he goes up, hops on the freeway, and where when you get up like towards the top of the bridge, you have to decide if you're going to go up or you're going to go like under, to get to the city. You either go up and over and you end up like Tia Centralen, or you end up over there where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So as we get up there, I see the guy, like there's this kind of dazed and confused look on his face as he's driving, and he hits that point.
Yeah, they keep tapping the screen of their phone to like refresh the GPS. I'm like,
Yeah, and then I could see where he's like splitting the lanes. He's like,
no.
And then he like, so he chooses one, which was the wrong one, because as he's going, I hear Adrian in the back seat going, oh, this ain't good. So we got an extra tour. We went to Tia Central and we turned around, and then we went through town and down and around, and yeah.
But you only paid the flat rate that you agreed to when you booked the service.
Exactly. So we looked at it as like we haven't been out, so it was nice. Veronica thought it was cool to see parts of the city.
There you go.
Adrian was telling us about some deliveries he made, when he was doing the ICA thing. He was like, oh, yeah, you can cut through here. So he gave the guy some tips, actually, on the way back. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't go that way. I would go this way.
Nice.
But the restaurant was fantastic. Yeah. And we had, the food was awesome. It was us four in a corner. And then there were 3 other people in another corner. Mm-hmm. And then I think we heard people talking like in another area of the restaurant, but it was basically empty. It felt like we had the restaurant to ourselves. Food was great. Guy was really nice.
Great.
Yeah, and we did we did like the sampler thing. I was like, if we're gonna do Greek food, and the kids haven't done Greek food, I'm like, let's do the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how we discovered it on. I think it was Foodora or Uber Eats, one of the two, because we were looking around for delivery one night, and I'm like, I can't like give myself a headache and try and find a pizza tonight. Let's do this place says it's Greek food. Let's see. And it doesn't look like it's kebab, quote unquote, Greek food.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, let's give it a try. They have stuffed grape leaves is normally my bar. If they have domades, then I'm like, okay, this place is probably pretty legit. But we got like the mezze delivered, and it was so much food, and everything's really good, really fresh.
Yeah.
Even for delivery.
Yeah, no, we were really we were impressed. We were happy. Food was fantastic. Pricing was super reasonable.
Yes.
And then we found out that I think it's been there for 22 years.
Really? Wow.
Which is kind of funny because the first thing that because Adrian's 21. And he, so he like looks at it as going, wow, so this place is like the year before I was born. Yeah,
imagine.
And I'm like, yeah.
Hey.
And then that's how you put it like in a time.
Well, Adrian should know, when we moved to London, we went to, at that point, it was Hinata's coworker, but before it was her boss, one of her bosses, we went out to his house in the English countryside. He had this beautiful like country manor, like in this very rural area outside of Oxford, and they're giving us the tour of the house, and like all like because we were spending the weekend there, sleeping over and that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, drop your stuff here, telling us about the history. They're like, the house was built in 1734 or something like that. I'm like, hold on a second, your house is older than my country. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the church that we were married in is 800 years old. So, yeah. No Elvis weddings there. But
well, I'm sure that there's got to be a Swede out there who could do a pretty good Elvis.
Yes. Yes.
So, what's the outlook for Sweden over there right now? What's going on? I feel like I'm so disconnected from everything going on. I know everything's COVID, but
right. Well, now I feel kind of stupid because I don't really know. I just know that I'm staying indoors and I have my 100 masks. And
I hear you.
Some of the stuff, like the limitation, 8 people. And I'm like, I don't even think I know 8 people, so the chances of me getting, meeting all 8 of those people at the same time is pretty low. But I think that I saw something in the newspaper yesterday that they were going to start giving vaccines to seniors down here in Nynäshamn.
Okay.
Yeah. So something.
I know. That's something I have to look up and figure out. Maybe some of our listeners know. Because I'm sure we're going to have to sign up on some 1177 database. And I don't want it to be like the preschool thing where you should have signed up 6 months ago. And now you have to wait an extra 8 months to get your vaccine. I know I'm going to have to go to Vaccine Direct down the street.
Well, you know how Sweden is. They'll probably contact you. You'll get like a little SMS, and they're like, "Hey, Sean,
your vaccine is waiting for you. Why aren't you here?"
Yeah, your vaccine is coming via PostNord.
Oh no! But I thought, if they can do something more akin to the tax system for people who have wages by salary. Then no problem. I love that. How they're like, here's your tax form. Please double check it and let us know if there are any errors. What? What is this?
Yeah.
What planet is this?
Yeah. Please check the front and the back. It's like one page, front and back.
Exactly.
And if it looks good, just go in, say everything looks good. And
if Google Translate refuses to translate a couple words, just ignore it.
Yeah.
It's probably all right.
Hey, one thing that I saw in the news this morning when you were talking about vaccines was I saw that they were at one of those locations in Florida. They were giving vaccines in Florida. And the person that they were interviewing was really upset because there were so many people from out of state. Yeah, and there was actually a couple Canadians. I think there were like some Canadians in line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Florida, man. What do you expect?
They said like anybody 65 and over, and they were like just anybody. Yeah, it was anybody, and it was like sitting there. It was kind of like license plate Yahtzee.
Yeah,
They were people. Yeah.
Well, I mean, half the year, anywhere north of the Miami-Dade Broward County line, that's like half the license plates they all say Ontario. Like the second cold weather hits Canada, they all come down. But yeah, I mean, I saw too that Florida, they weren't prioritizing healthcare workers, I think it was. They were just saying, we're going to do the elderly first, but it's on a first come, first served basis. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're telling Floridians just first come, first serve? It was people camped out. Like they were trying to get Pitbull tickets.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there was old people camped out.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I know, I'm creeping up in age, but there were some people that they were.
Hey, man, there's some old people down in Key West. You don't want to mess with them. They look like toothpicks, but they're salty dogs down there. They'll mess you up.
Yeah, there were a couple old people in line that you probably would have to remind them in the morning why they were in that line.
Yeah, I know. And of all the states to be like, well, of anyone, we're going to be the old people go first, but it's going to be a free for all. I'm like, it's Florida. Yeah. Do you know how many of them there are?
Right.
I mean, West Palm Beach County alone. Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, are you going poolside today? You are, huh?
I've already been poolside. I'm going back.
You've been poolside already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but yes, I will be poolside this afternoon. Hopefully, having a very adult beverage.
Yeah, as I'm putting on 3 layers of flannel
and gloves, right? You were telling me before we started you're going to put on gloves.
Exactly.
Oh God, yeah. I'm not ready to go back to that, man. My skin has just started turning color into like a beginnings of a tan. I'm like, oh, the second I get that, like when you walk from the plane onto the gangway to get into the airport and you feel that change in temperature, boom, your tan is gone. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, well, rest assured that Rodney has a snowman head in the freezer waiting for you.
I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night. There's going to be a melting snowman head in my sheets.
I got you.
You disappointed me. I gave you an offer you couldn't refuse.
All right, everyone, that'll do it for this week's episode. As always, a very special thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our Instagram for more 2 Guys, 3 Crowns goodness. You can also check out our YouTube channel for some behind-the-scenes action, and check out our merch store on our website. You'll find all sorts of cool stuff. and then catch us back here next week for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.